Good afternoon. My name is Tamara Hunter, and today is June the 23rd, 2020. This is an international edition of the Service Hero Show. 365 Days of Awesome. Celebrate success through service. And today we do have from Bangladesh, we have actually a service hero that I featured a while ago when he was here in the United States. Yet I do stay up with and want to keep track of our service heroes that we've had on this show. And let me tell you, he is absolutely rocking it. He is doing things he stated it on the show that he was on with me, what his intentions were. Not only has he been following through on those intentions, his intentions have gone even further than I could have even thought he could have gone for this period of time. I want to welcome today our service hero, Kamrul Hasan. Am I saying your first name correctly? Kamrul.
Correct.
Okay. Coach.
Absolutely.
I know that that's what you're known as by so many, because you are a coach. You're an international coach that is making a difference. And I want to say this. I want to welcome all of our international alliances with the show now. We are now going to be streaming live out of a Nigerian group that has just We've just made that alignment, and so it's either going to be today or tomorrow. So I want to say thank you for that. We have also out of the UK, NGO Whisperer, the magazine, the TV station. I want to recognize Caroline Opinde for her article that she just did, the segment that she just did with myself on becoming the next impactor and chemo buddies for life. I also want to recognize Vicky out of the Australia, who is also tied into Africa, that she is the editor and creator of the Global Achievers magazine, of which, quite honestly, she is one of my international coaches. She is on my board for international expansion, and I have been given a feature article with her magazine every month. And then most recently to the international family, we have Upwards, that is out of India, and we just did a little segment for them to say how it is that we are getting through the pandemic together. So I just wanted to recognize our international, if you will, crew that's making a difference out there, Coach. Isn't this exciting? Here I say this and total disclosure, everyone, it is only noon in Southern California. It is the middle of the night in Bangladesh. So,
Correct.
you are a superstar in multiple different ways.
Thank you, Tamara, my dear good friend. And it's my pleasure to be with you. And I'm really grateful that you have invited me. And it's the second time. And what a pleasure, to be with you into your program. And I'm looking forward only. As I said, we would be happy to co-create and collaborate the mission we are into in Bangladesh. That would be lovely to have Tamara L. Hunter with us as well.
Well, thank you. And thank you for that. And I just want to recognize as everybody does come on, and please, let us know that you're here, where you're from, because this is an international show. And hashtag live, hashtag replay, because I know that right now internationally, and I did share this out to some of our international friends, maybe they'll get up in the middle of the night. I wouldn't be surprised, but if not, then I know that they'll be catching it later, because we are a global family making a global difference. One person at a time, like I like to say, one buddy at a time, and what you would probably say, one student or one ambassador or one entrepreneur at a time, right?
Correct. Yeah. So
So,
ours is a
Go
country
ahead.
of 170, 180 million, and 70% is youth. And you see, we are working for that. So you see how many hands and how many eyes that we need to reach. So one at a time,
Hmm.
definitely.
Right. Right. And that's you and I reconnected just recently over the last week or two, and we spent some time on Zoom, and you were able to bring me up to date. And thank you, our senior ambassador. Let me introduce you correctly here, my dear. Our senior ambassador, Sherry McQueen. I am grateful that you're with us today. And Sherry and I will say Skip Thomas, who is on the board of directors for the nonprofit that I run, they are both in alignment with us in the whole global scheme of making a difference in our world together. And that's what it takes. You, my friend, coach, when you were here on a world tour. Basically, you went to England, you went to the United States, you went over to Harvard, you were recognized by this group, you spoke at that group, you put the intention out there to even meet some pretty big name people. It happened. I just absolutely adore everything that you were able to accomplish. And when you were on my show, which again, it was one of those kind of last minute situations where you were on another show and the host said, "Oh, Tamara, you've got it before he goes. We've got to get him on your show." And so you made it happen. You had to go get some new earbuds and everything. I never forget that. It was just so, that let me know you were a man of action. You told me at that time that your intention to go back to your home country of Bangladesh was to turn the poverty situation of those that are educated, those that have gone and done what they were told to go do, and yet they're still in a state of, what do I do next? I've got the education. I did this. I did it according to, our family norms, the society, what it is that I was told to do. And then they're staring at their bank accounts. They're staring at their family saying, how do we do this? How do we make it? And you, with your background being successful in banking and corporate, in the international corporate world, you figured it out. You figured out if we could just do a few things, then these people that are dedicated, we already know that they're dedicated, they're already proving it, will have a chance to actually change the dynamics of the economic situation in your country. And you are doing it. This is so exciting. So let's talk about that while we also greet more of our viewers. Hello, I'm so grateful that you're here with us. I love the the profile pic there. And, I am recognizing you here and I want to honor you for being here. And I'm going to just total disclosure. Sometimes I can butcher names and I don't want to. Out of respect, I am saying thank you for being here. And then I honor you for being with us. And so you have started a program. And before we go there, I grabbed some of your means to kind of start setting it up. You
Hmm.
believe, truly, you believe in the one. A good book can change your life, right?
Correct.
And then the next one, the iceberg illusion. That, and isn't that the truth? Absolutely. So that we can see this, but we're not always seeing the full picture. And that's what you're helping people to do. You're helping to say, okay, a good book and good education, very important. However, life will have its icebergs out there, and we need to help you be prepared for that. And so let's go into what you're doing for the next generation.
Correct. So uh, it's exactly for our youths of Bangladesh, and more particularly for the university student all over Bangladesh. We're having, you know, you also know that in all over the world our university education is actually faulty. Faulty in a sense, they're not really meeting up the demand of 21st century requirement in terms of skill set that is they're looking forward, the business world, the corporate world. So unfortunately, our university curriculum is backdated. It's like 15, 20, 30, 40 years old, and the world has changed so much so. And today, going through the 4 year or 5 year university, and I mean, it helps. What I'm trying to say is, but there are a lot of things that actually needed into the corporate industry, to get into the work and to also to begin the business. There is very less thing of the university education that eventually helps in real life doing the business and also into the corporate industry as well. So that I have experienced personally over the last 20 years. And I think everyone does. In today, most matter is communication, problem solving skills, emotional intelligence, digital literacy, creativity, problem solving. So these are the things, it matters most today. It doesn't matter, where you are graduated, but matter is, can you solve a critical problem? Can you serve your customer? Do you know what your customer is really looking forward? Do you know the digital literacy? Do you have the right mindset, right aptitude? So, but unfortunately, very little of these things is taught at university curriculum. Maybe only 5%, if there is only. So, so as a result, our university graduates that is struggling big time to establish themselves into the corporate industry. This is all over all over the world. This is
all
not only in
over.
Bangladesh, all over
A-
the world.
and not to step on your words, but let me just state this. This has been happening for a long time because I was a headhunter, I was a recruiter, and I worked with those coming out of college. And what did you have to do? You couldn't put them straight into a really good position, even though they had the education. And that's here in the United States. You had to put them into a quote unquote management trainee position that didn't even pay them enough money to help them to live and to be able to pay back the school loans. And they had to do that at least for 2 years for them to then get into an entry level management position. And so it was unless they were lucky enough to get into an internship somewhere while they were going to school to kind of double dip into the whole management trainee and going to university. And so this has been a system and an issue, I believe, to go into corporate world for a long time. And this is before we really started seeing so much more internet and entrepreneurship experience because I was doing this before it was really big. So, so to say that this is an issue is minute. It's it's epidemic. It really,
Epidemic,
it
correct?
is
Yeah.
epidemic throughout the world, and we've been experiencing another epidemic as we've been going through. And so you figured out this one though, and working with what you call and many call the next gen. So let's continue going into this because you now have teamed with a group, and you are reaching. You've gone out to the universities in Bangladesh. And how many universities have you teamed with now?
So right now we are connected about 180 institutions, including all the universities in Bangladesh. So we have now 20,000 plus registered student, and 7,200 plus is actually going through the online learning programs. And these all are happening during this pandemic situations because these are all online. And you'd be happy to know that the our curriculum is now actually provided by one of the U.S. philanthropists, Wadhwani Foundation. He's a billionaire in the U.S., but he has given us not money but the curriculum. He has designed and developed a world-class soft skill modules, which is researched on 1,100 organizations, all over the world. What they're really looking forward when they hire. right, Tamara? You were a recruiter and a headhunter. What are the basic qualities you look for when you look for a fresh graduate? So they have
Right.
done their own research, and I'm
Mhm.
now trying to give them these skill sets so that not necessarily you got to go for a job, but necessarily today having an entrepreneurial mindset, enterprising mindset, to become an entrepreneur. So what do I mean by that is, even I go for a job, if I have an enterprising mindset, my mind will help me, to expedite my journey, my growth, my progression, in being in the corporate ladder as well. This is one part. Another part is, if we are not becoming an entrepreneur today, and how can we cater, the millions of job seekers? Somebody also need to take the responsibility. I want to emphasize, put the world now need more solution maker, the societal solution maker, societal entrepreneurship. That's the and my intention is, in the next 5 years, if I'm honest with you, last 6 months, I mean, before about 8 months ago, we thought we need 5 years to reach 1 million students to have into this platform. But honestly, Tamara, today we feel that we could reach within 3 years 1 million
I have
students.
no doubt. None at all. None. None at all. In fact, I would be surprised if it's going to be 3 years, to be honest with you, Coach. I really would. And that's why I wanted to have you on, because right now, more than ever, this is a time in our world where we can, I've been talking about this a lot on this show because I've been dating the shows because of what's happening. It's June the 23rd, 2020. If anybody checks in history, if you're watching this from, it's a blast from the past, you're going to see that we were dealing with still a worldwide pandemic. We've been dealing with some financial issues because of it, and a lot of others. Yet you can look at it two ways. You can look at it at crossroads, or you got the fork in the road. You can look at it for the bad, or you can look at it for the opportunity. You're an opportunity kind of guy. You've been living in an area where you yourself found the opportunities for you to be able to make it. And then you said, okay, I'm not just going to make it for myself. I want to make it for my country. And then I want to take this and duplicate it for the world, because there's so many people that are in the same situation. And so you did some major radical changes in that you had a very, very good corporate thing going on. And you decided, okay, I'm going to go get all this training, become certified in this, and I'm going to train under that. And I'm going to become a coach, and I'm going to be able to be a speaker, international speaker. I'm going to go out there and meet people. I'm going to go shake hands with those people that are my, that I respect and that I want to shake their hand. I'm going to. Well, and then you did. It's like, okay, there's nothing that's going to stop you, Coach. So that million, I believe, is going to happen much quicker than not. And then it's going to go on and double and triple and quadruple, because it needs to be throughout the world. You right now, I couldn't even load enough pictures into this show, and because there was so much there to be excited about. And I'm just going to go for this right now, because when I was looking at these pictures, and and I can only bring two up at a time, guys, so but bear with me, because we've got people that you've got these, you know their universities. What is it that they're a next gen leader, they're a mentor, they're in one of the roles, and it just continues, and I only grabbed a few, guys, and I I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, how proud they must be, how proud their families must be, how exciting this is right now, a time for them in their lives to be saying, you know what, I have a future ahead of me. I can do this. We can do this. We can do this together. It's, you're doing the, 170 plus institutions, 100 mentors, 7,000 registered students, and then I'll bring this up, and then we'll continue the discussion because it's like I know how big this one is because I just started loading it, and I'm like, okay, will it ever happen? And I'm looking for it right now. Well, you hit 1,000 on YouTube. I'm like, good for you. And I'm sure I don't know where the image went, but
Hmm.
it that's got to warm your heart. I mean, because there were, there's so many. I just randomly picked because I'm thinking
Hmm.
you've got male, female, you've got traditional dress, uh, you know, uh, Western wear, you've got a full variety of people that, and from their next gens, they show their
Hmm.
university and what role they've agreed to take on. And how long has it been since we talked?
So, right. I
How many
think,
months you did this?
I think, right. We talked last year in February.
Okay,
So this
okay,
is so I was in
okay,
US that time. Yeah.
okay. So
So
it's
just 1 year, 4 months.
1 year, 4 months. So 1 year and 4 months. Okay,
Hmm.
seems like it was less time, but 1 year, 4 months. And
Correct.
look what you've done because this was in here,
Hmm.
and you've not only put the action items in, you explained to me that you got the full book ready to go. You've got the platform. You've got it all drilled down, every single aspect of it, so that it can be implemented and going. It's not just do it as you're going. This is a full-fledged program that you've got others working with you and you're going forward with.
Correct. So this is what is just a beginning. Uh, it's just a mere beginning. It's just a drop of what I actually want to do. Because if you ask me, are you happy? Satisfied? I would tell you because this is just a drop.
Right,
Because
right.
this is just a drop.
Mhm,
And why? Because I really want to touch thousands of millions of people's life.
mhm,
And I was scared earlier to talk about this. Thousands of million means 100 crore. So how can I do that? And that's the point. I never thought about how I'm going to do it, but I thought about why I want to do it, and then I left it to Howper, to the God and Creator and Almighty, and He has created the entire universe, and He runs the show, not me. Look at today. We are actually helpless towards a miniature of a virus.
mhm.
How? We don't know. So how is actually not my part. So that's why I say my my life would be fulfilled the day I would say thousands of millions of students' life direction. They were going this way, and because of us and our work and activities and actions, skills, the life direction got like this. So that's the potential, and everybody has the potential, and everyone going this, and I want to change the direction of their life. So that's the day I would be very happy to see in thousands of million. And again, I don't know how, but I believe it's going to happen.
I do
And
too.
that's the that's the that's the fun part or the challenging part. I don't take it challenge, because if a thought can come to my mind, there must be a purpose. Who sent me the thought? I didn't create the thought. I'm not the creator of my idea either. People do not understand the deep essence and deep meaning of this. Where did the idea come from? Am I creator of my idea? Actually, no. The idea doesn't come and jump into my head, my mind. No, somebody from somewhere, the creator, the Lord, the Almighty, who is running my machine in His own system, He has given me the idea through me, to me. So I'm just holding in my physic and in my emotion and in my mindset. So He must have a purpose. Why He allowed me to think about it, I don't know. Not others thinking that. Whoever thinking what, they can do that. So that's my basic understanding and my basic philosophy. So that's why I do not dare to talk about today that I'm going to create impact to thousands of million, and because I don't know how. Only He knows. He would
Hmm.
give me the way, because tomorrow I ask people, do you know what is going to happen for you and how you're going to have food, how it looks like? People say, no, I don't. I then ask, do you know how you're going to have your next meal? I don't. So how can you think what's going to happen next year? Can you think about it? No, you can't. No, you can't. You don't have this power to think about it. You don't have the ability to imagine even that. But you have the power of imagination, what you want to do and why. Rest, leave it to God. I left it to
Oh, I
God.
get you. I get you. I get you. I do. Anybody right now that feels called for a movement of one way or another, that they know that they're all about impacting the world, gets this. And I tried to explain this to someone the other day, actually, very similar. And thank you for what this was beautiful. Yes, love him being so in faith, trust, and knowing. Yes, yes, my dear board member Skip Thomas. Yes, because I just was having this discussion about basically the same concept, in that if you are working on something so much bigger than you, so much bigger, and you feel that you are getting that inspiration to what it is and how it is that it's supposed to go forward, it's not coming to, from you, it's coming through you. And so then you have an idea of where it's going, and I don't know about you, my dear coach, however, when I start getting in the mix and I'm thinking, oh yeah, now I get it, and then we're going here, and then I find out, uh-oh, I got in the way and we have to backtrack and we need to go over here. And so it's just a lot easier for everyone when you have that kind of a situation. However, there are those people that need to see the nuts and bolts. Like I've got a lot of volunteers in my organization, and we've got the computer people that they wanted in tech talk. They wanted in policies and procedures, and I didn't even know what that looked like until just recently. And then you've got the other ones that are the touchy feely woo woo people that are like, okay, let's bring it on. I'm feeling the energy, I'm feeling the love, and I'm feeling the higher vibration of it all. And then you have the everybody in between, and to really be effective, and that's where we did talk about this. To be effective in this, you do have to have it in some type of a program. You have to have some kind of something figured out so that it can be duplicated. Because like when you were sharing that, once you really take over Bangladesh and you have this solid, then you want to go to your neighboring countries that are on your borders and take it next, and then go from there, and then go out. And so that this way the world can, at some point in time, and it can go much faster if we get a lot more people involved, that we can be seeing a change in this particular area. And the change, I want to really talk about that. And that is, I'm going to bring these up just so we have some graphics here. I love your graphics, you guys. Whoever is doing your stuff, it's really great. Okay, so you have your regional coordinators, you have your campus ambassadors. They are helping these people see, okay, I'm going to school for economics, let's say. And my goal is that when I get out of university, I will be able to be an entrepreneur. That's why I'm going to university. I'm going to get everything I want. And that's their thought when they, oh, yay, first day of university. Now, fast forward to however many years it is in your country. You have your cap and gown, you do the tassel. Okay, graduation. All right, I'm going to go out and be an entrepreneur. I've got my piece of paper. And then they look at everything and think, uh-oh, I know how to do this in economics, and I know how to do that, and I know a lot of good books. I know a lot of book learning, but how do I do this practically? That's one road of who it is that you're helping. And then, if I understand this correctly, that same economics major, let's say midway, they're like, okay, I'm not doing that entrepreneurial thing. I want to go and work for corporate. I want to go into an international firm. This will give me an opportunity to possibly even travel the world. Yay. Okay. I have my cap and gown. I've done my tassel. I have my piece of paper. Now, corporate, international corporate world, hire me. And a year, a two, three, four, it's like, okay, can I just get, a car washing job? I need to pay something. And there's been something missing. And so you now have been going out to these campuses, 170 plus, looking for campus ambassadors, regional coordinators. And your curriculum that you have teamed with out of the United States, and then some of the other stuff that you are working on as a coach and business man, a successful professional for many years, you have something in play that they can come, they can do it, and within a short period of time, that piece of paper plus then going through your program with the next gen, they actually could go either way, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So basically, what we are trying to do is, what we are doing is, we are preparing them for future with the future skills that is the need in either they become an entrepreneur or they go to the corporate ladder. It's all about the communication, right? It's all about the presentation skill. It's all about the problem solving skills and the right attitude and right mindset, and that's the fundamental. Often I talk about it. Even if a man might have a lot of hard skill, engineer, and then he has soft skill, but what if he or she does not have right mindset, the right attitude? And it's valueless, it's worthless, right? I mean, there is no use of that. Rather, having a right attitude, uh, if anybody having right attitude, he or she would learn anything that is needed to
Right.
succeed in his or her life. So it
Mm-hmm.
does not matter what you have today in terms of skill, but matter is, do you have the growth mindset or you have the closed mindset? So that's the biggest challenge today. That's the biggest challenge today, opening up people's mind, because it's so much rigid because of the previous belief system, previous subconscious mind, and coming from societal rules, coming from family rules, coming from university rules, a lot of rules. I say bullshit rules. So and then we start believing those.
Right.
We start
Yeah.
believing those,
We buy
and
into
then
it. We buy into it because that's what is expected. And in truth, I want to give utmost respect to all of the students that go to university, because that right there in itself says they want something for their future. And that right, I want my hat goes off to them, truly. And so now, as the generation before, the generation or two generations before, for us to set our next generation up for success, that's a shift. We're pivoting. You're pivoting right now. And truthfully, what's happening in the world could actually be considered in many ways, for so many, that it's an opportunity for us to create the change that has been needed for a long time. There could be, in many ways of looking at this, no accident in the timing for what you are doing, because this gave you a worldwide canvas, a worldwide, whiteboard, if you will, that you can then, take your markers and say, okay, now anything is possible. We've got the internet. We've got Zoom classes. We have this. We've got that. So let's think this way. Let's actually keep focused, because we could go huge right now, but we have to do this correctly. The one other thing that I'm thinking too, as a recruiter, looking at this, because I've given this a lot of thought since you and I talked, is that you're helping them with the mindset. So important. And truthfully, words so important. What to say, what not to say, so that you can set up for success. And there are other action items, other actual skills that are needed that are not taught in university. And we all know it. They're not even taught in lower level education, at least not now. And those are life type skills or even entrepreneurial type skills. And so that bridge from book learning to, let's say, an entrepreneur, they're looking at it and they're thinking, okay, I know I need a supply chain. I know I need an item to sell. I know I need to be able to do that type of accounting. Wasn't offered. I need to understand, how do I create a website, or how do I set up some kind of exchange, money exchange? Those type of hard skills, along with the soft skills, those are items that you're also addressing, correct?
Correct, correct, correct. Because soft skill is also very much needed today. This is the We are actually giving them 147 lessons, which is coming in a package of 8 different blocks, like the communication, customer centricity, problem solving, digital entrepreneurship. These are the areas, attitudes. So they get the soft skill, which is a engine of all this hardware. So we get like engineering degree or any other kind of degrees, but if we don't have the engine, all the hardware actually worthless. And
Right,
then the attitude, which is
right,
I call it is a tire of the car, right?
right.
So if the tire is punctured, you might have good hardware, very good engine, Rolls Royce engine, and it won't work on the road.
Right,
So you
right.
got to give the fuel, and you got to have so that's the everything we're trying to address into these lessons, and this lesson is so nicely covered. And we are lucky to have this. And again, we are bringing some other lessons from some other part of the world as well. I'm partnering with one of the Dutch company here as well, called Jump Movement. It has its own philosophy. I'm partnering with them as well. So we are training our student leader. No, that's the lady. You're correct. Yeah, she's Ineke Hookman. She traveled into Bangladesh in February, and she stayed 10 days. So this picture, down side pic, below you, that this picture we are writing down the agreement. That's in Netherlands, in Eindhoven, in her city. And the other picture where she expanded her hand, that's in Dhaka, in Bangladesh. So she came into February, and we have trained our 25 regional leaders. And then 2 months of coaching, she has done this. So we are developing the leaders as a regional leader. We want to actually equip them all these necessities to become a community facilitator, community teacher, community trainer, because it's not me who can always go there. So we are developing this community leader. Talking. We are telling them regional leader. So they're going through 6 months long learning programs. So they are not only these soft skills of 147 plus, the jump movement methodologies, which is 2 days of the program and then 2 months of coaching, and some other programs built in. We
Mhm.
would be developing this like another 100 within this year. So this is a first batch. We have done it, so that it's replicable. They are carrying my baton, they're carrying my dream into the community,
Yeah.
and they are teaching their community students. So that's how we are creating the leadership domain, because me alone I cannot do it. I got to create leaders. I got to give them empowerment. I got to give them the right tools, techniques, process, and methodologies, and so that they can duplicate and replicate both. They can duplicate and replicate. So that's what is being done, and we are doing it. So we are onboarding them also as an intern. So uh, because we need many hands to replicate it,
Hmm.
because once we do it in Bangladesh, my intention is we would go all over the world. But at first, we have to do it in Bangladesh, because here we have hundreds of millions of students, you know, young professionals.
Yeah.
Every year, millions of graduates is coming out, and unfortunately they don't have job
Right,
and they
right.
don't know what to do.
I'm going to bring up an image because it was on your page, and and I'm looking at this. I'm thinking people need to understand that here's a marketplace. There's a lot of people out there, and when you look at an open market, okay, it could be anywhere in the world. There are going to be those people that go into the market that they can go get anything they want. They can go and their pockets are full. They've gone to university. They're lucky enough that they got a good job. They're able to pay for whatever they're paying for. And then there are those that go and they're they even maybe are going and they're going to eat with their eyes because they don't have the money, and then they may look for the spoils later or whatever it may be. And I don't mean to be making this dramatic. However, the reality of the world needs to be just seen, and we've been talking a lot about this on this show, in that this is Service Hero Show. This is how we look at there's an issue, and then with a really great, wonderful heart, and then putting the mind, engaged in with the heart, and then putting it into action, and actionable service, doing something about it. Because as I looked at this too, and I will say this because I have trifocals and my eyes can be, a little deceiving at times. I also, when I blurred my eyes a bit, I thought that could be seen in a whole different way. It could be, a scene out of Gandhi or a scene out of anywhere in any of these movies that I've seen. I've not been a world traveler. I haven't seen areas that are crowded and possibly a bit taxed for the resources to be able to take care of things. Um, you know organized and well. Let's just put it that way. I'm from the United States, guys. You've been here, Coach. You know what it's like. You want to go somewhere, you go to a big box store. You go here, you go in your car and you do this. It's a whole different thing. We're excited in my neck of the woods, because I am in Southern California, that we do have a growers market. That's exciting for us. That's like new age. And yet, and so again, it's that whole mindset. It's where are you coming from? How are you looking at it? And then what are you going to do about it? And with you are doing it one person at a time, 100 people at a time, then getting them ready to then times, and then times, and then times, and then it'll be interesting to see when you hit your first million. I can't wait. I'd love to see that it's going to happen within a year and a half at the most. Let's cut it down. Let's cut that 3 years down to half. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, I'm really optimistic. I'm now actually strengthening the process because this is most important, to set the process, the standard. And a lot of test has been happening because it's not that everything will work according to your wish. You got to do some here and there and tweak a bit.
Right.
So this is what is happening. So we are setting up a robust process, because it's not the I'm doing it everything. It's others, the team, the my team, the students, community leaders, the ambassadors, the regional leaders, the we have the trainers. So they are doing it. So this is another program we do it. Myself and Ineka Hookmans. So it is together we are creating a robust process so that it's replicable, it's doable, and it is robust. So that's what we are doing it, so that the process would take care of the outcome, not me. you know
Right.
we are creating the process, that's okay, but process would take care of the outcome itself. And a lot, I mean, a lot of time those are watching right now, we care, we forget about, we want to only go for the result, but result is an outcome.
Right.
The
Yes. Yes. Yes.
result is an outcome.
Yes. Yes. And so many people, isn't that interesting how so many people sometimes forget that piece of it? It's like they want to go for the results. They want that number. They want, but if you don't have that the process, that you haven't tweaked it, like you said, you haven't split test whatever it is that you're doing to make sure that you've got it so that it's working, and so that the old habits, because they're not going to bring the new results. And I love this from your page. Old
Mm.
habits won't bring new results. And really, when you boil it down to what you are doing here, is that and I love this too about you, coach, is that you really could have gone anywhere and done this anywhere, but you chose to go home. You've gone
Mm.
international. You've been recognized on the worldwide stage. You've been given, I just grabbed one. I mean, you've got so many different things, but you've been given different, accommodations and
Mm.
certificates and awards and honorary this and that, and and got to shake hands of people that really meant something to you, when you didn't even know that day you were going to, and so much more. You got that kind of international recognition, and I will say there are some people that once they get that taste, they may say, oh, okay, well, that was a really good idea, but now I can maybe go this route, and maybe this will work for myself, my family, my immediate circle. And then they kind of go away from what that original goal was, because all of a sudden they've been exposed to so much more. You went home. You went home. You said, okay, let's get to action. Let's do this. And you have been. And look at what you've accomplished so far. Maybe a drop in the bucket, but it's still big.
Yeah.
It's big.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely every milestone should be celebrated, and you rightly said, because I got to begin from my home, every movement, every mission, because it's not my business, it's a mission.
Yes.
It's a mission to be accomplished, and it has to be begin from the home. And earlier I was thinking, I could go and speak and coach and earn some money here and there, anywhere in the world is possible, because that's so much digital world and everything is possible. But I thought, no, I actually need to focus on my home ground first, and I got to create this mission, a success case at home, and our people should get the result first, and then when we are done at home, that is taking the process itself, and our people are more empowered, and it's going on millions. Then only I would move into the next step towards the neighboring countries at first, and the neighboring countries, and then I would want to expand, because I don't want to go to, from here to Africa. No, there is no point, from without serving at home, going to Africa. It doesn't make any sense to me,
That,
because I want to serve first in my hometown, in
right.
my home, in my village, in my country, and then the neighboring countries, and then expanding. To me, I don't know. I mean, this is a belief that it will expand automatically. I'm not worried about this.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
not
worried because,
either.
yeah.
I'm not either. Quite honestly, I am not either. I see it.
Hmm.
I absolutely know that what you're doing, and yeah, you think about the nucleus, and then it's going out, and it's going out, and it's going out.
Yeah.
However, with that said, it you get the right people partnering with you, and it can go, like, as
Hmm.
they say, wildfire. It doesn't have to take forever for it to go from Bangladesh to your neighboring countries, to those neighboring countries, to then next, continents, and then global. It doesn't have to take forever when you get the right partnerships. And so, what
Hmm.
kind of partnerships do you need to make this happen?
So, you know, today I was talking with a Harvard professor. I had a long 1 hour meeting, and then I had a 1.5 hour Facebook live show. So the Harvard professor, she is currently teaching at the Harvard Business School, in masters in MBA level. So she's also coming to my board as an advisor, and what I'm really looking forward from the world as a support and as a collaboration, because I want to multiply this because this is working, and this skill set is needed. So
Yeah.
then we have hundreds of millions of student and young profit youth as well. You know, out of 180 million population back home, we have about more than 100 millions as youth, which is below 35. So we can make it faster.
Right.
If our engine is powerful. Now we have started the engine. Now I need to make the engine a bit more powerful, to make it a more faster and replicate it more faster. So that's somewhere process. I always focus on the process.
Hmm.
I need to focus on the what process, the digital process. The platforms, the technology, which would take us through. How can we reach farther 100 million? Through technology, through social
Right.
media. And
Right.
you got to pour there the fund, the something there, so that people can get to know it in a year. At the same time, people can get to know it in 2 days. That's
Right.
the power of technology. So that's the need, that's the help I'm looking forward. Maybe the philanthropists, maybe the organizations, the globally, and I don't know, who would come into, like the billionaire who came in to give us the platform, but not money,
Hmm.
but that is something given us valuable too.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
someone, maybe somebody someday, maybe Jack Ma would come forward, maybe Bill Gates would come forward. I don't know. Maybe someone else. So,
Right.
but what I'm trying to say is, we want to create the process which will take care of the outcome, the
Right.
digital platform, the digitalization, and the people towards this. We need to empower a number of people more who would take this forward. So that is what, in terms of technology collaboration, maybe Google can come forward, give us a platform. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe some other things. Maybe Microsoft can come forward. Maybe Khan Academy, they are in US. So something like this. Maybe a big universities, maybe in Harvard University, maybe Harvard, maybe Stanford. I don't know, because if this is a social issue, this is a social cause,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and and,
Yes.
and it's not only my problem or your problem, it's our problem. And if we are not solving it together, so then eventually we're getting hit together.
Right, exactly. And you know it, and you said it. There you go. Boom, mic drop. You got it. Right there. Right there. It is something that it starts there in your country, yet it is a global situation. And we've made the case for it today. And so what I want to do for just a moment, I want to drop myself down from the line and I want to give you a moment in time just to give a nugget, like an inspirational thought, and then I'll come back up and then we'll close out the show. Okay?
Sure, sure, Tamara.
All right, I'm letting you give a thought to everybody right now. So I'm going to drop down and let you say something to them and then we'll finish out the show, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm actually looking forward to the world to look into this uh, as a success case where we want to replicate for hundreds of millions of people. We want to empower, we want to change people's lives and their thoughts and their belief. We want to transform the human potential for limited to going forward the unlimited potentials. So here it is. So I am in Bangladesh. We have 180 millions of population, and if if we get some kind of support, some kind of hand holding in terms of helping in the technology, in the platforms, in the methodologies, maybe the contents, maybe some other way, we could reach a million in a year. 1 million students we can empower within a year. But we're looking forward, from out on the world. There are many philanthropists, there are many billionaires, there are many organizations, there are many charity organizations. Maybe they can come forward and giving us the technology platform. Maybe they can give us some sort of the research and contents which is actually can help us to solve the real problem of skills which is needed for 21st century to become an entrepreneur and to be befitting into the employment, which is we call it employability skills, and with the right mindset. That's what we need to multiply it for hundreds and millions of people. So I'm looking forward to have your support to reach within with these hundreds and millions of people in a year, because we can do it together. So that's what my appeal through you, Tamara.
And and we can. And I want to say one other thing that I don't think we've really, that it's coming to me. We need to also clarify is that this program, they can get through it how quickly?
So with this program, I mean, so initially I was thinking 5 years it will take me to reach 1 million student, right? But I am convinced now it's possible 3 years. But with the right kind of technology, platforms, and support, and the I can we can do it within a year. As I said,
Right.
within a year.
And then
So we can.
the one student, let's say the student comes, they can have their certificate that they've gotten through the program within how much time?
Within I think 3 months, 3 to 4 months time,
Right.
because
Right.
today's employability skills, that's what is needed. The fundamental is only 3 to 4 months, and
That
then they are on.
and that's what I wanted to make sure that we also clarified here, is that this is not another situation where they're going to another university and they've got 4 more years to get like a master's or 3 years or whatever it may be. This is an add to the university that then is going to make them employable, or give them the skills to be able to go out and start their own entrepreneurial type of adventure. So is there anything that you feel we haven't covered yet in this little episode? I mean, we can definitely have you back to check in again, because this is really exciting. And I'm definitely, as we've talked, we're definitely supporting each other in our missions and our messages, and just making sure that we are helping to change the way that the world is done, one person at a time, realizing that good people working together to make a difference, anything is possible, and we're going to do it, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I want
Yeah.
to thank you, Tamara, for the work you do for the cancer survivors, and that's a tremendous work you are putting, and the world need this healing, mindset, healing capacity, and world need people like you to be beside those who can't bear their own pain and issues. You're doing an amazing work. I want to congratulate you, and I want to extend our support to your cause as well. And as I said, we are happy to co-create and collaborate into this journey. Ours and yours is together. It's your issue is mine. Our issue is yours. So I'm
Absolutely.
happy to collaborate and co-create, and I'm also happy to have you on the board.
Oh,
That
well,
we are.
thank you. Okay. Well, we'll have to talk. Thank you. And guys, this is it. This is what it's about. We, throughout the world right now, can join together and make a difference. And I started this by saying this was an international service hero show. And yes, we're going to be doing much more of these, because there are amazing service heroes throughout the world that are doing something, they are taking action, they're serving their communities, their countries, the world, and we are all gathering together and saying, okay, let's do this. Let's do this for our next for our next generation, and for the generations after that. We now, today, we can make a difference and serve together. And so I want to say thank you, Coach, for being on the show today. Thank you. I know it's the middle of the night, so go and get a good night's sleep, because you're gonna, I'm sure you got a big day again tomorrow. However, it is worth it, isn't it, to get
Yeah,
that
it's
message
just
out there?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Without any question, without any question. I'm looking forward, Tamara, to collaborate with you and co-create and doing this journey.
Yes,
I'm
I have
excited. I'm
to.
delighted.
Thank you. Me too. So as we close today's show, June the 23rd, 2020, the Service Hero Show International version, 365 days of awesome. Celebrate success through service. Coach, you are a service hero. We have determined that. We know that you are making a difference in your country, in your continent, and in our world. You knew it, you got called, you knew that there was something bigger than you. You went out internationally to do something about it, to gain the get education, and to meet people to help bring things back, bring whatever services, bring whatever relationships back, and so that you can do exactly what you're doing, and that is give our next gen an opportunity to actually have a living, create an economy, create communities, and create sustainability. That in itself is huge. And so I want to say thank you for all you're doing.
Thank you, Tamara. I'm looking forward, and I thank everyone who has actually, encouraging us, supporting us, and giving their hands to make it into success. It's not only me; it's together we are doing it. So it's also you're part of it. I'm
Well,
grateful to all of you.
absolutely. And so what we're going to do for all of your info for record here is there is going to be contact information. You've got his name. You can check him out on Facebook. Also, we are going to be putting this information into the YouTube. In the YouTube too, you'll be able to easily find how do you get a hold of Coach to see if there's something that you can provide to help make this happen. So let's do this. I'm going to be throwing it out there in all the social media. Let's make this happen. Let's share it with the world that all of us with service oriented hearts, with passion and purpose to make our next generation better, we together can do it. Let's show the world through this example and many others too. All right. Make it a great day. We're going to close up now. And for those that are here in the United States and part of the buddies, it is Tuesday. So you know what that means. Travel Tuesday, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. Join us in the closed group. See you there. Bye.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Bye bye. Take
Bye.
care. Thank you.
Thank you.